Everyone. I would just beg your patience this morning. I have an important announcement to share with you. I'm sure that by this juncture in time, we've all heard the term pastoral planning. The Archdiocese of Hartford, over the last couple of years, has taken up the task of looking toward the future. The reason for doing this is being fueled by several things: changing demographics in our towns and cities, changing trends in church attendance, and the diminished number of priests. All of these things taken together require us to carefully plan if we want to maintain successful parishes and a successful mission of being church. I'd like to just share a couple of statistics with you to frame my comments this morning. Currently, the Archdiocese of Hartford has 186 active priests, 186. The age of those active priests ranges from 26 to 91. Currently, the retirement age for a priest is 75. We are very fortunate that as of today, many of our parishes are staffed and continue to be run by priests who are well over that age of retirement. Their gracious service in continuing to pastor is something we are incredibly grateful for. What is of concern is that in the year 2025, which is not that long from now, that 186 active priests drastically diminishes to only 119. Further beyond that, by the year 2030, that number drops yet again to only 90. So within short order, within my time as an active priest and before I even retire, our numbers are going to be reduced by more than half. This propels us to act in swift fashion so that we can continue the vibrant ministries and vibrant parishes we have been so accustomed to maintaining. Many other places throughout the country and indeed throughout the world have already gone through this process many times before. We are later than most in accomplishing this work, and so it is imperative that we do so. The current pastoral plan, as promoted by the Archdiocese of Hartford, and the one that I have been asked to lead, involves the Glastonbury parishes. All 3 parishes in Glastonbury will be merged into one parish community. What does that mean? It means that each parish church, St. Paul, St. Augustine, and St. Dunstan, will remain as it is, as an ecclesial building. Each church will continue to be referred to by its given name of St. Paul, St. Augustine, and St. Dunstan. Masses will be celebrated in each parish church in accord with the number of priests that are available. I say that because we are not guaranteed a continued assistant here at St. Paul and St. Augustine and St. Dunstan. It may well be in short order that our community will be served by only one full-time priest and perhaps a part-time assistant or a retired priest acting. St. Dunstan will come along a little bit further in our merger when Monsignor McCarthy retires in approximately 3 years. However, they will be a part of the planning process right from the beginning. The Office of Pastoral Planning has asked me to undertake this merger process now. We are acting a little bit ahead of other parishes in the Archdiocese because the restructuring and reconfiguring of all parishes is still a work in progress. And until they make those final decisions, other parishes will not yet be able to begin. So there is no need to delay or deny the inevitable. And I do realize that this is a tough road for all. In the bulletin this weekend, you will read a letter from me explaining this process more carefully and in more detail, as well as some statistics that'll help us understand why and what is happening. If we look back to the early church at the time of St. Paul, and we read carefully those letters of the New Testament, we get a very clear image that early church was a church of change and creativity. Its vibrancy was due to that changing creative process. It was a church that was becoming, a church that was growing, a church that was developing, and a church that was listening to the voice of God, helping it become what God wanted it to be. And so we are very much that changing, developing church. There are no deadlines to this process, as I want to do this carefully and slowly. There are 3 words that I use to describe the process we are undertaking: inclusion, consultation, and discernment. Throughout this entire process, various committees will be formed consisting of members of our current parish communities. All of us will have an opportunity to name our new parish community as a new church corporation, which will be the umbrella under which all 3 buildings exist, will need to be established. I want to guarantee you of one thing, and that is my leadership. As priests, we are not necessarily trained for this type of work. However, I do believe that I have the skill sets necessary to lead our community through this creative but also difficult changing process. And I want to assure you that I am with you during this work. And I share your concerns, your anxieties, and also your hopes and excitement. I was talking with some folks the other day, and it became very clear the positive things that can come from a merger such as this. When you step back and you think about all of the talent that exists in our current parish communities, of gathering that all together and utilizing that for the benefit of all, opens up some incredible prospects. Think, for example, of our youth and all that we can do for our young people when we come together as one, share our resources, and work together. It is an exciting time, albeit a difficult one. And when I first came here, I made that point as well. Change is always difficult. We don't like leaving the familiar to walk out into the unfamiliar. But so many times in our lives, we realize that once we've let go, we've embraced something that is even more incredible and something that is even more wonderful. All of the particulars will need to be worked out as we go through each step of this process. Particulars such as which church will celebrate Mass when and how we will utilize our 3 parish buildings. And so, as I mentioned, we will work through this together. I ask for your prayers today for the success of our Archdiocese, your prayers today for the success of this merger, and your prayers today for me as I humbly try to lead us through, knowing that I certainly do not have all of the answers for doing so, but that we collectively most certainly do and can pave this way with grace. Should you wish to discuss any of your concerns after Mass, members of our parish and finance councils will be available in the south wing of the church. I am incredibly grateful to the talent that I have found in both of those councils, and they have assisted me greatly even to this point in coming through this change. And so thank you for your ears this morning, and thank you even in my short time here for your love and support. It means a great deal to me, and be assured of mine in return as well. Thank you. Everyone, I would just beg your patience this morning.